Yep. What's up, guys? So I am back with a follow-up video of what video was that? Was that the workflow video, like from scan to MetaHuman workflow video? Like I didn't expect that kind of reception. So I also got a comment asking how I would customize the scan. So this video will be covering that as well, and the second half of the workflow, on how to create the scan, use MetaHumans, and then take it from there and customize your scan to whatever you would like, or bringing it closer to like the scan reference without letting MetaHuman do all the heavy lifting. But without further ado, I am currently in Substance Painter, but I think I'm going to start in Blender first, right? So, I took the wrapped MetaHuman Basemesh and then brought it into Blender, right? From here, I generated some LODs. This is LOD 0, like this is the original base mesh. And if you see my computer lagging, don't mind that. Like I'm running a lot of programs as it is, and I only have like 24 gigs of RAM. But anyway, that's beside the point. This is LOD 0, right? So how I generated the LODs, just to test if everything was like, going well. And I mean, you could also take the LODs and create other things like, what, NPCs, and whatnot. But yeah, I used the decimate modifier in Blender and then selected unsubdivide, right? And then it's just 2 iterations. Now, what's important to note is that a lot of the time, unsubdivide works really well, I've found, right? And it will try and retain all your edge flow, like from LOD 0 to LOD 1. You can see that the LOD, the edge flow is relatively the same, or it is rather, right? Okay, there's a triangle here, the caps. Yeah. The edge flow is the same. Lips. But at some point, once you go beyond a specific level of iterations, it does just kind of start ignoring the edge flow. Oh crap. It starts ignoring the edge flow, right? And then it just automates and chooses what's best to retain the shape. So this is LOD 2, if I'm not mistaken. It is. You see, this is exactly why you should rename your shit. But anyway. And then this is LOD 3, LOD 4. LOD 3 and 4 are relatively similar, but that is beside the point. That's one thing you can keep in mind if you want to generate LODs for the wrapped scan, but still keep a lot of the UVs so you can reuse the textures you generated from the, the pre-existing MetaHuman. Yeah, let me just turn off the wireframe. And this plugin, right? Now I'm gonna plug myself. Hey, this plugin is a custom plugin I wrote. I can drop the link down below if you're interested as well. But if ever you see me going to this plugin right here, or like just doing anything right here, just know it's my own plugin, and it's just my actions I prefer using a lot of the time. So if you're interested, I'll just share that. But yeah, again, I digress. So from here, I exported all these LODs to, I exported all the LODs and then imported them into Unreal. So we have all these LODs right here. I'm just missing LOE 4. Let me just, okay, this is not the Unreal section, but I'm basically trying to illustrate using the LODs and what I tried to use them for, or what I was checking for, right? So I'm going to bring in LOD 3 right here. That man is lagging. Laggy Larry. And then let me just go back to camera. Move that to the side. Oof, too much. And then materials, substrate skin instance, drag that in there. Wow. And there it is. This was part of the test as well to see how good it could look, you know, generating LODs for the scan and then using custom materials to still try and capture the original scan look. But yeah. Okay. Now to dive into the substance section, right? And again, like this actually, let me just remove this. This is another, custom substance plugin I wrote following a different tutorial, but I digress. Just close this bad boy up. What did I do? Oh, I knew that. So let me just switch off these layers, right? So I took the scan I cleaned up in Zbrush and its details, right? And then I also took the wrapped MetaHuman Basemesh, and then I just baked out all these details in Substance. Actually, let me just switch that off. I baked out the details in Substance to later use them in Unreal in a custom shader. See, this is the part where I was talking about customizing what MetaHuman generates for you and then building your own thing from MetaHuman. Like it is an amazing tool, but having it generate everything for you takes away some level of control. So now you can combine what it generates for you and what you want certain things to look like. So we're in Substance Painter. But anyway, normal. Generated normal map. I know. I'm just. Can I switch off the base color? Okay. Okay, let me just find a material, smart material I can use to just turn that on, turn that off, and then let me say skin, face, drop that there. Rah, rah, rah. You ever been to Krispy Kreme? Was it crispy? How do I build lighting material? Normal. Okay, so this is the custom normals I baked out from my ZBrush scan, right? Here you go. It's just like some simple pores, some wrinkles, pimples and whatnot. All right, okay, how'd you see that? So from here, I brought in the generated base color from MetaHuman to start building from here. And then I didn't like the original color or base color it gave me, so I added a little bit of warmth to the skin tone. That makes sense. Yes, it does. Leave me alone. But yeah, I didn't do much in Substance Painter. Uh, I added that because this. So I was experimenting with substrate materials as well, right? So this was going to be for the second substrate slab, right? And a lot of the resources MetaHuman had generated for me, I was using in the first slab. So from here, I started let me just start with the roughness first. So I generated custom roughness. Oh yeah, I created custom roughness for the first no, this is the secondary. No, this is the primary ORM ORM map, right? So I generated some roughness, and then when I exported later on, I'm sorry, let me just slow down. But anyway, when I exported later on, right, it'll have my roughness and my AO, like there's no metallic, so skip that. And then from here, let me just go back to the material. I created a black layer to start creating some subsurface scattering for the second slab of the substrate material, right? This is all experimentations and tests, right? Material base color. Okay. So I created this and then plugged in, I created a fill layer and then plugged in my thickness map as like a simple base layer for the subsurface scattering. And then from there, I painted some, manual subsurface with, what was it again? Let's see right here. Which brush was it? Oof. I'm a bad teacher. Like I keep getting distracted. But anyway, we'll get through this. Believe in me. Stay with me. I think it was a grunge brush. Grunge. Or was it Kyle? It's one of these. Kyle brush presets offer 12. That was the one, right? And then I dropped a blur filter. Let me just show you without the blur. That's how it looks. All right. This is just to break up any type of uniformity. And then we got that. And then with the final layer, is just where scattering happens the most and the most light passes through. So since the ears are really thin, I painted the most white here. And the nose. This is where the skin is, the most thin. So yeah, painted the most white in there. And this is what the SSS map looks like. Yeah. Just a heads up, I didn't create a custom base color to use in the second slab, right? I just brought in the generated MetaHuman base color map, and it was more of like a reference point for this warm kind of, I mean, you can do it in the shader too, but like, you know, I was in Substance Painter. I just thought I'd do everything in Substance Painter and then create a solid base to start from. But yeah. Yeah. Let's jump into Unreal right quick. And we are in Unreal. So in this section, I'll just be demonstrating how I put together the custom textures with the MetaHuman generated textures. I mean, additionally, like I could show you how to put together these LODs that we generated in Blender. This is if you don't want to use, you know, one LOD or whichever LOD to do what you want to do. And for instance, you just want to load it into the LOD or the main base mesh, not base mesh, the main mesh. Okay, I can feel my computer fighting for its life, but it's probably because I'm recording and Unreal is crazy sometimes running the editor and this window. Anyway, yeah. So what you will do with those LODs is first you need to generate an LOD group, and then from here you select an LOD to import. So LOD generated, yes, it will. And then from here you can just select your LOD that you want to load, and you'll keep doing that. Come on, the hell I do? Okay, undo that. But you'll keep doing that for each LOD you would like to add, right? And then from there you can just select min LOD if you want to do that too. And then this cornea and eyeball static mesh is from the flipped normals eye kit. I got that a while back, but again, like I will drop all the resources I used that you can get for yourself. And obviously I'm going to shamelessly plug my my modeling, my Blender modeling plugin if you are interested. But yeah, so from here I just plugged all bits and pieces from the pre-existing MetaHuman we generated in the previous video. And then yeah, come on. Yeah, and I mean, this is it. Like it's very straightforward, right? Like nothing impressive. You're just gonna go into the component section of your blueprint, but actually, you know, right click, blueprint class, and actor is something that can be placed in the world, yada yada, all of that. And then just add static meshes, right? And then for grooms, it is, what's it called again? You just type in groom, something should pop up. There you go, groom. And then from here you can just play around with these, but I liked what I had, or I like what I have, so I really didn't edit them that much. Woof. Now it looks crazy. Actually, let me just fix that. Viewport, select that bad boy. Do I really want to? Yeah, doesn't matter. I'll do that after I'm done explaining, right? It's gonna take up more recording time. then we need to. And then from here, materials. And then initially I wanted to create functions, but I mean, the skin material wasn't that complex. So this is Substrate, by the way. So if I remember correctly, you need to have Substrate enabled in the project settings before you can start using Substrate materials. Select the main material. Where is it again? Substrate. Okay. I don't remember what I did. But yeah. I think if you just let me see. I forget. Front material. But anyway, yeah. Come on. Laggy Larry again. So I have a section for the base color. Oh, excuse me. Vector 4. Oh, you can use a 3. Yeah, you should be able to use a 3. You can use a 3 to control the color saturation, tint, you know, all the goodness, multiply, control it with your scalar, power node to for the contrast, base color map. For now, for like, you know, the rim or the edges, then just blend those two with a lerp. But this is all for like the first slab, right? The top layer. And then, I mean, same deal with the normals. And right here, I have my own micro normal that I created just to get like an additional layer of like crisp, you know, port detail. Yeah. And by the way, you see these, right? Like I really hate the messy material graph and just nodes crossing in general. So I personally use a lot of like reroute nodes. Reroute. But these are, yeah, the declaration nodes of like, you know, reroute declaration nodes. What I use. And then don't need to have them this close, but yeah. And then I just plugged those in to the first slab. And then all of these, by the way, were like the generated MetaHuman resources, excluding the micro normal that I created myself and then combined it with the generated what do you call it again? It generated normal map from MetaHuman. And then I also have a switch parameter that says if I don't want to use this normal map, I can just use a flat, you know, vector 3 on the blue channel with the blue channel. Similarly, the same with this one, right? If I don't want to use the micro normal, I can just turn it off and then just have it flat. Roughness. Micro tiling. Okay, so what I did here is this is for like poor contrast, right? Like I took my micro normal map and then just selected the green channel, plugged it into a power node for like contrast, to like have some roughness around, specific areas of like the pores, just to like catch light in an interesting way. SSS. Oh, the SSS is in the second slab, yeah. And then we have the SSS, which will be plugged into the second slab and red channel. So right here, I'm also using the ambient occlusion. I'm using the red channel of the ORM just to get the ambient occlusion from that. Plug it in there, and then use it as a map for the SSS. And then if you don't want to do that, you can switch it off. And you could use the painted SSS map from Substance Painter as your main SSS map. All right. And then this was part of an experiment. I think this haziness is like secondary roughness, if I remember correctly. And then same story here. You can choose if you want to use the SSS color. Again, vector 4, or you can choose to use a baked. Okay, so this is like the baked color, the baked vertex color from my Zbrush poly paint. I also combined it. I dropped it into the second slab. Like, I didn't do too much here. I kept it simple versus the main base color. Yes. Oof. Yeah, my PC is fighting for its life right now. But anyway, we soldier on. Yeah, there's nothing to it. Regarding the substrate slabs, right? I won't get into it because I too am still learning and trying to get a grasp on it, right? So these I put together watching, I think it was a video on the Substrate Unreal Fest. It's an Unreal Fest video on the Substrate materials, and I was just following along, listening to the explanations of what each does, or each slab does, in all its like modules and whatnot. And then I just took it from the horizontal blend. I don't remember that as well. So I would recommend you go listen to someone who is much more knowledgeable at this current point, and will teach you a lot more, because again, right, this is more of like a workflow overview, right? So I'm not really teaching anything, I'm just sharing my workflow. But I mean, I can also demonstrate how you can continue editing your custom scan. Okay, I'm just gonna move this right onto the second monitor, and let me just show you all the parameters. Okay, I need to organize these as well, but you have the base color, normals, roughness, SSS, and then the texture maps, right? I'm just gonna do a demonstration on how to like iterate and customize or further customize your skin. You could do it with the MetaHuman eye shader too, but in this video, before it gets too long, I'll just be focusing on the skin. So base color contrast, that bad boy. Let's play around with the base color tint. Right. You could do something wild, go crazy. Ooh, go crazy. Pow, pow. And then the fuzz contrast. Fuzz and contrast. You'll see like it'll try and capture like the edges, that Fresnel look. And then this is the horizontal blend. It's trying to blend between the second slab and the first slab. And if you remember, the second slab had my custom maps. It has more of my custom maps. So this is where you can now try and balance between the first slab with the MetaHuman maps and the second slab with my custom maps. So this is where you can start getting interesting results. You know, do you want all that strong detail from, oh my goodness, I should put guardrails for that. Okay, 0.5. This is like the halfway point, but I like the strength I had from the first slab, so I'm gonna go 0.8. And then specularity, I plugged it in, I think it was F0. Yes, it is F0. But Substrate is really cool because now we're getting really interesting results. Just combining or blending between two layers. Slab base color. Okay, I'm gonna turn off my base color. And then play around like the standard RGB. See what we get. And that's the SSS or quote unquote SSS color from the second slab. Ooh, my PC is really fighting for its life now. I wonder what I have in the background. It shouldn't be struggling. Unless OBS is a monster in memory, with memory. But anyway, use base color. And then this is the standard roughness and whatnot. Back to 0.4, roughness contrast. That was 0.1. And then I have my roughness min and max, but I'm not gonna edit those because, well, I mean, they are self-explanatory. And then roughness poor contrast. This is now using the green channel from my micro normal map. Get some interesting results. Roughness contrast. Lower that bad boy. There we go. This one. 2, 5. Oof, look like a marble. But yeah, I think you'll get the idea and would have an idea. Like with this workflow, hopefully it explains how to approach it and use MetaHuman to help you, you know, create your own things. Like try and experiment with workflows, see what you get. But since I'm a lazy bastard, from here on out, I'll be using MetaHuman to just have it generate a lot of things for me. Like if it could take me all the way to like 80, 85, 90%, and then I start building from that 90% to get what I want, I'm happy because I've been doing this for nearly 7 years, and creating characters, especially characters, like, okay, I started off as a character artist, but creating characters can get really tedious really quickly. And I don't know about you, but I despise texturing. I would much rather sculpt, retopple, and UV rather than texture. And if MetaHuman can do that for me and get like these amazing results, then hey, guess what I'm gonna do? And I mean, they already give you like an amazing base mesh you can use, right? You can use it for your personal project, or you could take advantage of that of the base meshes and what you sculpted, and then plug it into the MetaHumans to like get something you like. But I'm gonna stop rambling now. Like the video is getting a bit long. Like it's nearly 22 minutes. Hopefully this helped, and well, hopefully it helps someone because I felt like I was yapping. I'm still yapping. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Let me know what you'd like to see or would like me to elaborate on, just in case my rambling kind of confused you at some point. I'd be very open to hearing from you guys. But anyway, bye.